With the great arrival of the internet being made and us connecting all over the planet on all different social medias, in the past, celebrities were generally looked upon as being less harmless than the average human. Because most people would think if they wanted to be in a TV show or a movie, most companies wouldn't hire someone who's done anything in the past and has a perfectly PR. Unless you were like R. Kelly, which clearly got caught in 4K doing some evil shit and had to hit the dash. The public would think even with your worst flaws, you were still a good person at heart. And low-key, R. Kelly's career never fell off after he got caught doing some weird shit. You can still find me listening to him sometimes. But the thing is, it even got to the point where they were selling the tapes where he was engaging in sexual acts with minors. I still find this crazy how this is actually true. Like, where the were the cops at? They had to have been gotten paid off or something. But then the classic Trapped in a Closet dropped and they were like, hold up, this shit kind of fire. And it really was wild with how many things you could get away with if you were a public figure in the past. And with celebrity and social figures back then, it was always treated like someone close to you died, and a majority of people would give condolences. Like when MJ died, the whole world was silent for a week because it was so unbelievable. You didn't see any jokes about his death. Also, this kind of happened when Princess Diana died. Everyone took her funeral service serious. It literally went down in history as one of the most watched events with 2.5 billion people watching. You can even take political figures like Ronald Reagan, for example, who's notoriously known for putting up LeBron-ass numbers when it comes to these racist-ass laws. Even Ronald Reagan's funeral had 100 million people watching, no matter anyone's political party, and a lot of them still gave their condolences. Yeah, we know if this happened today with Gen Z, this wouldn't be taken very lightly. For sure, that ain't gonna happen with Biden or Trump. Prepare for an all-out war on Twitter for a year or two. But now in our time, the wait time to make fun of a celebrity's death have dropped significantly. We went from waiting a year or two after Michael Jackson's death to make a joke to waiting 10 minutes after. And the most recent example is this. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing trending the month after Charlie Kirk's death. Charlie Kirk got assassinated September 10th, 2025, and the internet will never be the same after that. When a politician dies, it's usually respected, but we never had this happen to a well-respected politician as big as Charlie Kirk. Could you imagine a war starting over a simple-ass podcaster? And I know for a fact they'd end up making a COD game about this shit. It'd be something called like Call of Duty Civil War 5 Podcast Edition. But the thing is, if Biden or Trump got hit on stage in 4K and the other side started cheering, at least I would understand it a little bit more. You really think people are gonna hop off their 9 to 5 and go to a war over a fucking podcast? Even people who liked him are only gonna give their condolences, probably reply to a few trolls on Twitter and Facebook, then move on. Imagine kids in the year 3000 looking at history books and seeing 2 civil wars, one of them literally being fought over slavery, people having no rights and people being treated like farm animals, and another one happening over a podcaster getting assassinated by some little kid who liked furries. You literally had the richest man in the world talking about something like the left is the party of murder. People like Andrew Tate tweeting civil war. Mind you, he doesn't even live in America. Bro should be focusing on his own damn court case instead of focusing on our problems. I mean, even our own president had to speak on this.
Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died. The values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God.
Meanwhile, a day later, like, bro, what the hell does a ballroom have to do with your friend getting slimed out? You can't give it a week or two? I remember when I was a little ass kid looking at presidents thinking, wow, you really have to be the world's smartest person to get into that position. Little did I know, I was dumb as hell. And look, I'm not celebrating him getting assassinated at all. Violence is never the answer by all means. But starting a civil war over this has to be the most overkill shit of all time. Another thing that's supposed to happen is this bill called the Charlie Kirk Commemorance Coin. Another crazy thing about this is most politicians didn't even care about him. They just saw this as an opportunity to fix their PR. But the thing that genuinely turned this into a disaster was how the actual funeral went. Because oh boy, was this the weirdest funeral to ever be televised. To be honest, this was mostly a presidential rally. Like, you had the whole Trump administration on stage giving political speeches. But for Erica Kirk, her speech was actually thoughtful, so I'll give her credit. But tell me why she walks out with some shit that John Cena would do. Honestly, I think we should normalize this at all funerals. Just me? But right after her speech, this happened.
For them, that's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I think Trump saw this shit mostly as a MAGA rally, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this man's wife had more empathy than the goddamn president. Like, bro, isn't your job to unite the states of America? And I'm not gonna lie, Erica Kirk moved on pretty quick, and these clips show it. Me personally, I always go up to my homies' girls, pick them up off of the ground and smack their cheeks. Hey, but it's just a welcoming, nothing weird. Because of this catastrophe, we now have people making these crazy memes or photoshopping anyone with Charlie Kirk's face on it, whether that's rappers or even celebrities. And nobody is safe from getting quote unquote Kirkified, but we even have these goofy ass memes. Honestly, I think this is gonna be the new Rickroll of 2025 and 2026, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of y'all deepfake this onto me. With Gen Z, it isn't really that weird for them to make fun of dead celebrities as a whole. Like the other day, I was just hearing about the Yes King guy dying, so I pulled out my phone and checked TikTok, and they're already making goddamn memes. This shit didn't even happen a week ago. Another one that I can remember is when Kobe Bryant died. The thing I really remember about it was people on Instagram and Twitter making jokes about it, and they were getting all out doxxed and harassed. Because he's the most uncontroversial person, right? Other than that one time, but we're not gonna get into that. Since Charlie Kirk was more of a controversial person, I think that feeds into the reason why people started making these goofy ass memes. Same thing with Queen Elizabeth dying. The main reason stems from no one really caring about the royal family anymore. If you compare how Princess Diana's death and funeral got treated to Queen Elizabeth's, you're definitely gonna notice. The royal family was already cooked, judging that one of them were already friends with Epstein. Also, just to mention, he visited Epstein after his ass got caught. Then he decided to give some shitty ass excuse that some 5th grader wouldn't even think was true.
Now, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together.
Also, he gave another shitty excuse for having to crash at Epstein's house.
Staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
This man could be sleeping at some crazy ass hotel made out of straight gold, but no. Thank you for your believable answer. I'm sure that everyone will agree on this. Nope. His ass just got kicked out of the palace. Also, you had Prince Harry completely abandon the family. And if the royal family had any PR left, he came out talking about them being racist to his wife. To be honest, did they really think that baby was gonna come out as black? Because that kid is as white as me. So they ended up ruining their PR for no goddamn reason. Because of all of this drama, plus the queen dying, we were ready to flame the ever-living shit out of the royal family. And that's what happened literally the same exact day. Now we have people running around asking when they think Charles is gonna die. And in my opinion, it's not that far off. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Make sure you guys subscribe down below if you want to. Also, make sure you join the Discord down below. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Hey, also, just so you guys know, I said this in the last video, videos are gonna be dropping every Wednesday from 5 to even 6. NVL on top, love y'all for life, and until next time, I'm out.